Hello everybody, Danny TCV, the criminal violin here. Scott Joplin, king of ragtime, playing in the background. I can't remember if that's a something I downloaded off of the thing or not. But welcome to Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, the open source version of Transport Tycoon Deluxe. It's a very cool game, especially with a particular GRF that I will be showing off, because I never play without it. Also, this is a custom map. This is a thing I downloaded off of the internet, and by that I mean off of the in-game browser. Which is using real world names. So yeah. And there's a profile editor to where it's all fluffy and it allows you to build a map. That's what I've done here. This is, I guess, a map I made with the little GRF or whatever it's called. Essentially a mod, I guess, for the town names. Made the largest size map that's in the vanilla map editor. So that's cool, it's cool. Yerevan! Azerbaijan, if I do recall correctly. And Durban, I think, is well, I know Durban as in South Africa, I think, but nevertheless, you know, alright, so, vart they went there, they went to see the town directory, Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Aliyad is the city I came up with in 2K11, fairly early on, that I made. And then Loa, of course, is my hometown that I had to add. It's not actually technically a hometown. Technically, it's considered an unincorporated area. So technically, it's not considered a city or a town. Mexico City. And you know, Apia, I think, is somewhere within the Southeast Asia region, I believe. Attention, that's South America? South America? Athens, of course, is Greece. Baghdad is Iraq. Bangkok, Thailand, I do believe. Barcelona, España. Beijing, China. Belfast. Oh gosh. That gets into the area of the Slavic region of Europe that's incessantly changing, I swear to God. You can never keep up with it. It's almost as bad as Africa. Every 2 years, seemingly, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, all that stuff. They're like bouncing, coming back together, falling apart, coming back together, falling apart. Oh, you're the same people, for God's sake. Make up your mind.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
Go low carb.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna improve my health.
Well, at least it's not completely extremist. It's only partially.
Yeah, that deal. You know what? You don't want me to love you. I have to love you.
Anyway, I'm trying to record, by the way.
I abandoned you before I was conceived.
I'm trying to record, by the way.
I don't care.
Go away.
No.
Go away.
I'm gonna listen. I don't want you to do.
No, go away. I can't even have Sean in here because it feels so bad having people be around me.
You're good at it, Danny. Don't worry. I want to watch. I want to see how you do this. I've never seen how you recorded before. I'll be really quiet. I'll sit right down here.
It's extremely difficult for me to do it. My nerves go nuts when I try and speak. It's fine until I start to speak doing it. Wait a minute, I need that. This? Yeah, the levels are gonna fly from Abu Dhabi real fast. Oh, I am going to do the cheats menu, which I have to remember what it is. I think it's Alt Control C? Yes! Alright. I do this because I like to have it much more sandboxy than traditional. So I feel of most freedom. Plus, it's extremely expensive, even at the low-end prices, which you can set in the new GRF settings of a GRF in the game. There you go. Alright. Now we can go into our budget and we can repay the loan. I definitely recommend doing the cheats thing and giving yourself tons of money if you want to be sandboxy about it. Of course, if you decide that you're going to play with someone, then at that point it would be very cheatsy unless they did it and had the same amount at least. Okay, and I always do the biggest airport, which is under hub. It's Intercontinental. My brother wants to watch how I do this. He thinks I'm very, very professional at it. I found with placing airports in cities is you want to get as close as you can to the downtown area, or else the passenger load doesn't work right. You get very few. You only have a very slight chance to actually get the right amount of passengers if you do it on the outskirts. So sometimes if you're in a situation like this where the downtown is here, you want to put it somewhere around here, which means you have to raise land. Which in this case I might, but yeah, alright. I'll raise some land. Click that, landscaping, left click. And I like to do a little bit of excess land in the process to do it, because this is much bigger than the airport in itself. And you can rotate it, which I'll do it this way, because I like that direction better. It seems more fitting. But there. And then, with it being put there though, I can actually go and pull the road out, like this. And then like, yeah, well, whoops. I have, let's get something I commonly forget to do is to actually get the directional pieces changed, because you have to change direction in order to, well, do what you're trying to do. So, yeah. And at this point, I think what I'm going to do, because I see this over here, is I'm going to raise this bit of land and connect it so that this road is no longer very redundant. So now buildings will build along here, and yep. And the biggest set of blocks you can do is a 3x3 square, and then if you go over that, say in between the two, and you put a road here, it'll build a road right next to it to try and autocorrect the spacing, which is very annoying for a sandbox user, because you can't stop it from doing that unless you put a bunch of stuff, useless stuff down there. So, tisk. Nevertheless, alright, now we need a second aeroport. So, fly to, I suppose, we'll fly to Canabra. I know I'm saying it wrong too. Another way. Ah! Oi! Sensitive scroll wheel is sensitive. Canabra. Yep. Canberra, whatever. So you usually say Canabra there anyway. Damn, I'm in road construction. How did I manage that? Oh, well, I'm puzzling myself. Okay. Haven't played this in a while, but not as long as I have taken breaks from it. So the optimal placing to put it would be to get rid of this little lake and this building and put it there. But you also have to have flat land. So I want as close as I can to the bigger buildings. So, and downtown, of course. I'll put it here and hope it'll work properly. I'm imagining it probably won't work too well. I did give it to Canberra, which is good. Thought I was going to give it to Dublin. And then you'll go to a new aircraft. Now these are all the default ones here. Until here. And then this is a new GRF I have, which considering the time period, it doesn't have Airbuses or anything yet, because Airbus hasn't released their first plane yet, which Airbuses are the ones I like to use by far the most. Specifically the A380s, which in real life and not actually carry the most passengers of any other plane, even at its base size. Plus they have a smaller amount of liveries, but they have some nice liveries. And the real world liveries, so you can have all sorts of them. The smaller planes from Boeing later on end up having all sorts of, just loads of different liveries that you can choose. I usually choose the liveries that look best to me, and sometimes I'll choose one that doesn't really, like, well, United Airlines. Or SAS because, well, it's Scandinavian Airlines, so I feel gratified. And the Transaero, because that's one of my favorites, along with KLM. Recently finding apparently that KLM actually binded with Air France, which is weird because I didn't know any of them were supposedly having any kind of problems, so they decided to code share. I'll leave 2 of them blank. So we'll just randomly pick one of the aircraft 6 and then we'll fly to, well, Abu Dhabi. So, Abu Dhabi, there you go. Fly, my birdies, fly! And, yeah. And one of the annoying things the little minor inconvenience, I guess, which is annoying to me, is the fact that you have to have an aircraft go to an airport and touch it first before there's any passengers that go to it, which doesn't make any sense considering it's already open once you place it. But see, now suddenly there's passengers, even though the plane obviously doesn't have anybody. So it has to land here again, and then still have nobody to pick up. And if you just simply said, you know, turn around, or just basically reverted it so it's supposed to stay here, you would think it would be able to be capable of turning around and coming back in, but instead it has to fly out, go all the way for its rounds, sometimes twice, and then come back in again in order to land. It's a peeve I have with the development of the game, but nevertheless. So, fly another one from, Canava to Abu Dhabi. We'll do a capitalist line from the two. Try and capitalize on each other. Well, actually, no, they're both Transaeros, so it doesn't matter anymore. Just randomly pick one. I guess it has to be big enough, though. I wish Baghdad was big, but it's not. So we'll do Athens. Greece, you get your due diligence today! Although, downtown is right here, and there's not really a way you can really connect yourself to downtown. Very well. We'll place an aeroport right... I like to randomize orientation, but this time we'll put it there. I got a few more in the process, so... We'll do... Bratislava. Oh, that's a tricky one. Ooh, that's a tricky one. Bratislava, why do you have to be so rude? Why do you have to be so unoptimally placed? My gosh. Bratislava, no! Well, that's kind of a showcasey kind of a thing. Bitch! Oh, damn. Well, damn. That'll be for sake of the fact that I'm pretty sure it won't give really any passengers. The car? Yeah, waterfront towns are actually very unoptimal to try and place an airport at. I will say that much. Seoul is literally just an island town, and then you cross over and suddenly there's the Banya. Guangzhou and Beijing. Beijing, Beijing. Airport City's Airport City because of the fact I figured, hey, they have Airport City, you might as well make it an Airport City. So I just have like loads of airports. Like of different sizes, so like, could you fit a Metropolitan on here? Yeah, of course you could. Alright. And then you could fit a small airport. Probably only a small one on a commuter. But we'll put a commuter. Hardy heart. Put a commuter. Yeah, a commuter right there. There you go. Airport City, baby. Yeah. Pretty much. It's a small town, so there won't really be anybody there until it grows further. And we'll go back to hub airports, and we'll put intercontinental. And we'll do this right here. Rotation, I defy you. Alright, and we will put you here. Guatemala City now has airports. Alright. Now, what you will do is you, SAS, will fly from there to your home in Canberra. Fly away, birdie! Bye. Bratislava. Und in here. Und in fly away, bicep. Aerocraft 5. You will go here. And the ones that I leave unmarked, usually I like to consider as like municipal craft. In other words, the city purchased them as a transport serve their very own airline, their very own transport service to, you know, transport passengers and make some revenue for themselves and add convenience for, well, their township. Yep. I want to clear, yeah. And then we'll fly to Airport City Airport. And boom. Dude's all thrown. And you'll be asked for different things like that, and you'll have your choice to have your budget and stuff come up in the options, and yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. What we shall do is we'll just kind of finish this little sector of this up with some planes. Yes, yeah. Oh, yes, yeah. Well, gosh. To play. Apparently, Aeroflot of old, I knew it, and I knew it supposedly still as the German-Russian binding airlines, where they, it was a shared airline. They actually, both governments decided to run airlines for both countries themselves, which then apparently, as of some point within recent history, they changed to Russian airlines. So they're just Russian now, Aeroflot, whatever. And Deutschland, I'm assuming that it's probably because German Wings and Air Berlin and other things like that became just, you know, its own as in that. But I'm not entirely sure. Anyhow. Yep. Aeroflot. What did I change it to? No, I did change it to something. Okay. I like the Ukrainian international airlines. Ukran. Oh, so nice. I don't know why I like that so much, but I really do. But like I said, I like to go with my favorite looking ones or something representative like this. But I really do the Bangladesh. I actually like their livery in real life. It's very simple but very nice looking. But, you know, it has to be crushed into a teeny less than HD graphic, fairly pixelated, you know, graphic than you may want in a game like this, so, not a problem. Alright, yeah, so yeah, it's not gonna look optimal, but what are gonna do? And sometimes you have to consider, like, okay, so how far are these cities from, say, us, you know. So, yeah. Aircraft 9, apparently I clicked off 8. And we'll fly you straight to Athens, Nebraska. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, see, they're not gonna really have anybody because they're small. They're very small. And we'll fly you there. And then here. And then Bratislava. We shall fly. Oops. We shall fly the plan of Rustic. Alright, yeah, we'll fly to Bratislava. Yup. Oh, we also have Guatemala City. Have I even flown anybody there? I don't think I have. Okay, we'll do that then. And then we'll randomly fly 2 flights between here and Abu Dhabi, I guess, and then Athens. Just to kind of solidify this fella up. That's recently released. Ah, what the heck? We'll buy a small aircraft for very small. Okay, we'll do multiple places. Because we'll do Aeroflot as well. That's British Aerospace Company. Company! Air France. Florida, I guess. Hey! Hey! Respond, you despondent child. You. Hey, yo! Because I like their livery. I don't know what it looks like in real life, but that's a decent looking one. Some of these aren't live updated. You know, they're, you know, they're not always updated very often. Like, see, look at this. This is not even close to like how many some of these later on these small Boeings will have. But yeah, something I haven't done before. Let's do like Palm Air. Very simple, very bland, but well, I'll admit it drives the point home. Alright. We'll do Canberra. We'll do the 3 biggest cities. Canberra will get the Aeroflot. I have the forest on my wish list, so Steam just popped up with an advisory. The fact that the developers posted a hotfix. If you'd noticed that, I don't know if you would have. I guess it's not technically the Windows, so you wouldn't have noticed it. Oh well. I think I kind of freeze there. It's like, see it? Actually, you know what? We'll fly to Bratislava because I was gonna do that priorly, so we'll do that. Screw one of the other biggest cities. Yeah, there's a fair amount there. Not too bad. Fly, my boys, fly! Now I'm assuming Guatemala City and Abu Dhabi are actually the furthest from each other. But I was gonna do Athens before Abu Dhabi, so there you go. And you know, I love playing this, so I can get stuck and addicted to playing it without realizing it for a very long time. So yeah. Anyways, that's that aspect presented, everybody. And then, yeah. In fact, I might just leave this video here for now. And we'll get to the road vehicles after this. Although, I don't even know if I'm going to do that, because when it comes to the trains, I rarely use them when I do. It takes a long time to build a system, even a small one, and I don't know. I don't want to showcase all of them. Like, technically I didn't do that with this, but I don't know. I'd say it's... you're probably basically going to leave this in just so you know, like, how I think and stuff. So, maybe prior, you know, later on, you'll see different things. Anyway, this isn't vanilla buildings, by the way. This is, also... a few actual, you know, actually there's quite a There's like somewhere between 2 and 3, maybe 4, I think. Somewhere between 2 and 4 new GRFs they have that adds new buildings in different regions or just in general to the game. And then this also isn't vanilla, these trees. This is also a new GRF that allows this. And you can change what type of trees get planted and all that. And if they're potted, or which these are, or if they're not, or whatever else. And, yeah. Note, it's always and only in the suburbs. Which is funny, because that shows that, you know, the people who develop this really what they think is, oh, urban environments, they don't have trees. But an urban environment like, well, let's say Portland, Oregon. One of the constant things you'll hear about it, whether it's somebody from here or not, is, oh, by the way, there's trees lining the roads, even downtown. Hopefully that'll forever last, but who knows. With the way they're changing just this whole metro region here around Portland and all that is really kind of depressing, and it's kind of a shock actually, especially when you don't get out to downtown Portland or back to your old home, like Aloha, for example, for me, very often, and you suddenly see these things that just are so incredibly out of place. Like, for example, I've used this before, like if you saw a hippo with, you're out in the outback of the savannah of Africa, and you're on one of those trips, sightseeing trips, and you see a hippo, but the hippo happens to be, let's say, standing on his hind 2 feet like a person, wearing a top hat with a monocle, smoking a bubble pipe. It says, "Top of the morning to you, mate." You'd probably stop, stare, and look at the thing like, what the freaking hell happened? That's exactly how out of place so many things are in this area, and it's disgusting, and it's really annoying. And just, it's forever changing, and they won't have, they'll have the supposed public input, but I don't know how, even if everybody's against it, they don't care, and they just build whatever they say they're going to build anyway. And there's the public meetings, and all the public input doesn't actually matter to them at all. They're just doing it to shut people up for just long enough to where they're now built so much of it that they're like, too late. Can't go back now. So it's really sad. But that's why I'm mentioning that as just the trees being downtown all along every street. You know, it's really, really nice. And yeah, it's very green in that sense. It's very, you know, Portland's one of the greenest cities in the country, if not the greenest, and one of the greenest in the world, potentially, I would say, because of that, and it's green in color. But when it comes to natural health, let's just get that straight. No, it's not. The Willamette is incredibly polluted, mainly because of the Port of Portland, but also because our pipes are from the 1800s, for God's sake, and they're wooden. And they say only when the river gets to a certain height where it meets the sewage pipes that actually dump into the river, normally, at that point, they say that's the only time that it'll actually leak sewage into the river, which has all been proven many times false, but they try and cover that up, of course. But the real reality is there's always some sort of constant sewage running into the Willamette River, which, by the way, is the area's main source of drinking water, so hopefully they clean that pretty well. Although they put so much chlorine in it, a lot of times the pool water would seem more refreshing than the water you get in a faucet. But, nevertheless, yeah, there's sewage all over in it, and there's even signs that say, "Warning, sewage, do not go swimming." And literally right behind those signs, when you look into the river, there's, like in the dead of summer, there's people swimming in it anyway. We're like, it's not that bad. I don't know about that. Anyway, and of course there's tons of agricultural chemicals because of all the farms, and there's endless amounts of industrial pollution in the Willamette because of the fact, and in the air, because of the Port of Portland. There's just so much crap that floods out of that stuff. It's disgusting. So it's not a very green city in that aspect. It's green in color because of all the trees and all that, and how people think, you know, very, very incredibly what you consider tree-hugging eco-nuts. That's what we're full of in the Northwest, let alone here in Oregon, or let alone especially in the Pacific Northwest, or the Portland metro area of Oregon. It's very, very green in that sense, but it's green in the sense of, it's green in the sense of thought, speak, and I guess action, but and also the fact that there's trees everywhere and plants and all that stuff, even in the most urban of the areas. But there's, you know, it's not green in general, so it's sad, but it's a fact. So otherwise, it's not truly green. Oh, by the way, look at Athens Airport. Nobody there? Yeah. So this is something that happens a lot, and I don't know why. It seems to happen if it thinks it's too far from the downtown of the city, and thus it just won't have any passengers there, even if it doesn't make any sense. There will never be any passengers for sometimes years of the game on end, until suddenly the city says, oh, by the way, passengers are not allowed to go there. And then it'll flood with people, and sometimes you can have 10,000 people, and then suddenly there's nobody, and nothing. It's because the city says, oh, but it's too far again. And it won't do it. That's another, in fact, that to me is a nearly game-breaking. It's a major peeve for me. Even though if you do it sandboxing like this, it doesn't actually matter. That's the maintenance, by the way. That's why he's going in there. Also the fact that I don't think he can technically stop here, because I don't think they have it open to passengers. But he probably will stop, because I'm sure that was just maintenance. But, yeah, it's just maintenance. Anyway. Yeah, it's just a really big peeve, because this doesn't make any sense. I mean, if it had any, you know, it's supposed to be realistic, and that's one thing I very heavily despise about this. Now suddenly there's passengers, see? I guess because of the fact they think that it wasn't gone to yet. Maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but a lot of times that'll happen, like suburban. It's too far from downtown. They can't possibly allow passengers or anything to go through there, but you can drop off some, which doesn't make any sense, because then you can't make any money, because you're making money off the transfer. And there's no transfer. You're just dropping off something, so you're making a little money. But really, it's not making you any money. It's like you're losing you some because the city's being an ass, an arsicle. Anyway, another random thing I felt I really did need to mention because, I mean, it's very valid. But, yeah, nevertheless. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this showcase and a bit of blabbing about my locality. Portland, Oregon. Or, you know, Maine. By the way, Portland, Oregon was named after Portland, Maine. By a bunch of the first travelers here, specifically that actually were founding the city and active members of trying to get it to be recognized as an official city. In the National Register, it was a bunch of, well, people from Portland, Maine. And also, it was a town that was trying to base itself as a big name port specifically for, in the end, a lot later, for World War I and specifically World War II. Which, actually, when World War II happened in the city of Portland, that literally is the thing that stopped it from being a, well, at that point, a 48th state. Which was going to be the State of Jefferson. It was literally going to go through. It was going to be the 48th state, which means you would have 51 by now. But World War II happened. Everybody in Oregon and Northern California pretty much went and started trying to make different ships, or repair different ships, or make aircraft, or make the ammunition and stuff like that. And everybody was in wartime mode at that point. So suddenly, nobody was thinking about the State of Jefferson, and next thing you know, it fell off the table, and ever since then, there's never been a State of Jefferson, even though people have been pleading for it. Yeah, and then war said, no, that's not a state, sorry. Didn't just ruin lives, sires, and countries. It ruined a potential state. It ruined a desire and a dream. That really doesn't necessarily matter, but yeah. Anyway, yep. So I've been Danny, TCV, the Criminal Violin. And, yeah. I hope you enjoy the night. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I am definitely famous in my family for the people that know me to be a blabberwalkie who never shuts up, and I sometimes want to strangle myself because I don't have a mute button. So, you know, yeah. So that's a big part of this. It depends on if I actually put the blabbing parts in. I certainly start blabbing on different things. I may have ADHD as well, so that's why I skip subject for 2 seconds. Anyway, yeah. So, yes, there's another blabbing FYI. Yeah. Zagreb is Croatia, or Dalmatia, by the way. Because I am. Reykjavik is Iceland. Yeah. And, Johannesburg, Havana, Cuba. Oh yeah. I'll see you all in the next episode, Belfast. Hey, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh yeah.